We're finding out who's behind the murders of the Furrowbrow, and we will find that out in due time. So, alright, so let's go ahead and turn this in to Jim Candles McHannigan. I called him Jim so many times in the thing, I had to fix it. It was so ridiculous. Okay, so now we're going to go back here, and we're going to sneak on these guys, and they're going to tell us a few things. These guys are the ones behind the Furrowbrow murder, but they were paid by someone. Bet you can figure out who that someone was. It's actually, you know, the story's fine. Like, it's not bad at all. It's kind of neat. It's really good in terms of just being like a nice little, like, Criminal Minds or CSI style story, mystery. It's fairly predictable, but that's okay, you know? It's pretty good. Like, I like it a lot. I've done it so many times now, but still pretty neat for sure. You kind of saw it coming a while back, but that still doesn't answer my question of who the Syndicate is, which is apparently a separate organization entirely. So I'm going to be really interested to find that out. It's kind of neat, like, you know, because like we started in Duskwood, which would normally be the next zone. Uh oh, we hear the shots, we hear the screams. Two Shoes is dead. Two Shoed Lou is dead. So sad. Alright, we're gonna move on though. You know, we ain't got time. His body is there. It's so sad. Alright, let's move on. But yeah, it's so weird. Like, we started in Duskwood, and then we went to Rothy Highlands, and now we're back at Westfall. Like, we're going backwards a little bit. We're just jumping all over the place, and you know, like, it's actually really cool to just be able to go to whatever zone you feel like going to at that time, and you're not forced into a specific leveling path anymore. And I think that it is one of the best changes that this game could have ever had. Like, it's just, leveling is so good now, you guys. Like, I can't say enough. Like, this game is so old. Like, it's been out for years. Personally, I think leveling's better than it's ever been. Like, it's so much fun now. So, like, I don't know, just, like, I'm so happy with it. I've been leveling up so many characters. It's just something to do. It's like, I feel like I have so much to invest in now, and I know some people may not like that too much, but personally, I'm a big fan of it. So, yeah, let's continue on here. We got to gather up some food for the orphans, and we got to take down these Harvest Watchers, because they're, you know, they tend to kill the squatters that come and try to seek refuge around here, and these poor people are trying to help them out the best they can, but it's just not working out. So we got to take these guys out. Oh, yeah. I remember when I first played this game, these things used to kind of scare me. Like, they're kind of creepy looking. Hey, thanks, buddy. Thanks for the assistance. I'll take it, you know? Alright, let's get out here, and we're going to fight this guy. Also, I recently converted one of my paladins. I have like 4, and I converted... Whoa! You gotta kill these guys too. I converted one of them into a Lightforged Draenei, and oh my gosh, I've never played as a Draenei before, and I've been missing out. They are so cool. It's a male. I've played as a female Draenei, and female Draenei's are awesome. They're really cool. They're really hot, you know. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. But the male Draenei are very intimidating. And when you've been playing a dainty Blood Elf Paladin for years, it's kind of nice to play this kind of hulking big dude. It's just, I don't know, just cool to me. So yeah, don't underestimate the male Draenei. I thought they were weird looking for the longest time, but no, I think they're pretty sweet. Especially the Lightforged one. They got these giant like yellow beards, and it's just cool looking. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's little things in this game, you know. All I need now is a cowboy. If I can play a cowboy, I'll be happy. I'll have everything I need. Like, make gnomes. Like, my next idea for a hero class in this game is obviously, a lot of people have suggested it, is the Tinker. Of course we need a Tinker. Which kind of sounds funny to say. But an engineer, right? Or what gnomes would call a Tinker, kind of like High Tinker Mechatorque, is a class that would either use a robotics, you know, suit, like you see Mechatorque use a suit, and you could have them use guns. So you could have like a version, like a spec that uses a giant suit, or temporarily uses a suit or something like that. Like, kind of like how demon hunters have metamorphosis. Like, you could just temporarily engage in a suit. And I think that'd be pretty sweet. So, like, what you do is you have, like, you can, like, lay down sentries, you can or turrets or whatever, and you can use, like, pistols, not rifles, but pistols. Like, not blunderbusses, you know, actual handguns, or, like, assault rifles. That would be kind of cool, too. And then, like, I know I'm getting kind of crazy here, but the thing is, to play one, just like with the demon hunters being elves, you have to be a gnome or a goblin, of course. So that kind of adds in a little bit of fantasy. It encourages people to actually play the little dudes, gnomes and goblins, which I think is awesome. Level 31, look at that. We are flying through this. And, you know, it adds more of just another class fantasy to the game, which I think would be really cool. You could have a healing tinkerer, you could have a DPS tinkerer, you could have a tank tinkerer. And the DPS could be melee or ranged, or you could have, like, 4 specs. A DPS or a range tinkerer, whichever one you want. I think that'd be pretty sweet, you know? Like, I think we could use more. I think anytime you add more tanks and healers into the mix, it's a good thing, because that encourages people to play more tanks and healers. So, right, we need to head over this way. We got some more to gather, but yeah. So, like, adding more of that in, I think would be pretty sweet. And you know, like, I don't know, I just would love to play a tinkerer class. I think that'd be freaking awesome. Drop down some sentries, shoot at guys from a distance with, like, not just like a rifle, but like a machine gun. Kind of like if you play Final Fantasy 14, like, they added in the what is it called, the mechanist or whatever, and they use, like, assault rifles, and I think that's awesome, dude. Like, I would love more, like, modern weaponry in the game. Like, we've come so far. Like, we've got a lot. You know, we've got even like spaceships now. You know, like, I don't know if we've necessarily got laser guns, which I don't necessarily want laser guns, but I would love to see some advanced riflery, you know, added into the game. I think that would be really cool. Pistols, like, I know, like, the combat rogue uses a pistol, or it's actually called an outlaw rogue now, and it's actually really cool. I like the outlaw rogue a lot. It's more of a pirate, though, right? And which is cool. Like, I think that is awesome, and, like, I love playing as one, but, like, I want to see more of, like, a cowboy, right? So, like, a combination of like, either a cowboy engineer or like a steampunk cowboy or something, kind of like, what's that show called that I like so much that we all love? Firefly? Yeah. Something like that would be kind of cool. But, you know, something like that, maybe, or then, like, have another version where you use more of, like, a assault rifle, so you're kind of like this, like, military soldier, and then you can, like, have tons of these, like, tinkerers running around with, like, assault rifles, like, you know, because, like, you know, the normal you gotta think, whoa, we got a rare robot? I did not know that was here. That's cool. Dude, he's dead, too. Can we loot him? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Maybe, oh, hang on. Let me see. No, I think he's the rare. No, he's not the rare. Where are you going, buddy? You running away from me? Don't you run away from me? Alright. But yeah, like, the lore of it, obviously, is you think about, like, goblins and gnomes, like, they're so much smaller than the other races. Like, significantly. Even compared to a dwarf, a goblin and a gnome is actually pretty small. So, by nature, but, you know, naturally, they need to advance in technology, because if you're not, like, a powerful mage, you know, or whatever, like, I mean, there are goblin and gnome warriors, sure, and I'm sure they can hold their own, but it would encourage a civilization to kind of provide some equalizers for the average, you know, gnome or goblin, and so those ones would, you know, adapt to using, you know, technology to become powerful soldiers or whatever, and so that would encourage them to, you know, invest in some better weaponry, you know, like that kind of thing. I think to me it makes perfect sense. And so now you have, like, all these, you know, goblins and gnomes, and then I think that's one of those races that you could eventually, you know, expand on, like humans can adapt it, or adopt it, I should say, similar to how monks are. Like, I don't know if you would want to, if you'd make it, I guess you could make it a hero class, but I think, like, you could, like, have a lot of other races you know, adopt it, because like it's one of those interesting things. Like, and I'll be doing the goblin storyline soon, but like I would like it partially because I would love goblins. And or not goblins, I'm sorry, gnomes. I've been saying goblins this whole time, but goblins too, but specifically gnomes to get a little bit more of a spotlight, because it's like goblins and gnomes specifically, because goblins got a little bit of a spotlight with Kazan and being added as an extra race, but like they both have had such tragic pasts, like as a race. You know, the Kazan goblins, if you don't already know this, you know, they're basically, their leader is a giant jerk. Like, he's a douchebag. All he cares about is money, and to him, the people, like the goblins of Kazan, are just pawns, right? That's all they are. And like so many of them, like, you know, they were ran out of their home. A lot of them were taken off as slaves. So many of them are treated as slaves still. And a lot of them died in the whole Kazan incident. So, like, and I think we're going to go back there, which is kind of cool. But, you know, like, I don't like Gallywix at all. Like, I hope that, like, needs to become a future boss. Like, and I think that, like, you could do something there where the engineers of the goblins kind of revolt. And, you know, like, there are good goblins, I guess, that aren't slaves anymore. You know, because Garrosh isn't around anymore to kind of help keep them as slaves like he was, you know. And then the gnomes also, even though they're treated so much as comic relief or whatever, like they have had rough storyline with Nomergon and just losing, like they were almost completely wiped out. Very few survived. And, you know, the dwarves took them in, and they treat each other like cousins, like they're very closely related. You know, but like the gnomes have such a history coming from you know, I forget what race are they, mecha gnomes, but you know, like what Memoron is, like in Ulduar, like they have such a rich history, coming from such, you know, powerful creatures. The Titans forged, you know, like there's so much there, and for them to most of the time be reduced to like mere comic relief is just like, I feel like it's a disservice to that whole race. And you know, yeah, they're little and they're silly and they have high voices and they act goofy, and that's all fine, but like that can be like they're often like their coping mechanism, you could say, or like they have positive attitudes in spite of being through so much, but that makes them strong, right? And I think you could expand on that a lot. And so like having, you know, engineers in the game, and having gnomes and goblins kind of bring those to the other races, to the Alliance and the Horde, you know, and have them be in that spotlight, I think you can also expand on those storylines. So like I would love that. I think that's a future that Blizzard should look into, for sure. And with that, you can do so much in terms of advancing civilizations in this game to kind of shake things up a little bit. Like, not too much. Like, you don't want to have like Stormwind become less of a castle, right? You want to keep that fantasy, but that doesn't mean that you can't add like vehicles and planes, like you know, like having them advance civilizations so much, because that's basically how you keep the Horde and Alliance on par. Is you have goblins and gnomes both advancing the technology of their respective factions, and you know, you can kind of create an arms race there as well. Like right now we've got this Azerite thing going on, and of course the goblins are the ones behind it, right? They're always looking for new resources, new forms of technology, and again, like now would have been a pretty good time, actually, come to think of it, to kind of expand on that, right? Like right now with all this going on is the perfect time for them to, you know, expand on the goblins and gnomes, you know, advancing technology to fuel this war. And again, I think that is exactly where you could have added in a Tinker class to the game. And so, like, you know, you can have different specs, like I said, like, because I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, and there may even be other forms of engineering, but from what I understand, goblins tend to focus more on mechanics, No, I'm sorry, gnomes. I get those two confused. Gnomes tend to focus more on mechanics, and goblins tend to focus more on explosives. Now, that doesn't mean that the others won't focus on the other things, but I feel like that's kind of the specialties, right? So, like, goblins blow themselves up all the time. Like, goblins rarely live past, like, a certain age because they're likely to get blown up because it's such a big part of, like, their culture and stuff. Whereas gnomes tend to build, like, robots, and they have, like, the mechanic striders, and they have the cool, like, spidery four-legged ones that are really cool, and the High Tinker Mechatork has his robot, which is awesome, his suit that he uses. So, like, they tend to focus more on that kind of stuff, that side of engineering. And so, like, from there, you can really, like, do a lot. I mean, in terms of, like, having two different styles, two different looks, in terms of, like, how the actual engineering looks. So, like, if you're a goblin, your mechanics look different than a gnome's. Like, there's just so much they could do with that, and I hope that someday, I hope they run with it, as we sit here in an endless loop of respawning gnolls, I should say. Riverpole gnolls, to be specific. But hey, it's helping us get this quest done. So we got the attack orders. We met Hope. I've kind of forgotten all about the story of this because I've gone on this, like, Tinker tangent, which is just fine. But yeah, like, we're gonna keep fighting, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna let you take care of it, Gus, and I'm gonna try to get the heck out of here. Yeah, alright. Jeez! Leave me alone! You endless wave of gnolls! There's so many sub-races in this game that I get confused. Alright, there. Another one? Leave me alone! Okay, there we go. We're gonna get this. Alright. Let's get the heck out of here. Now, we want to feed these people. This is probably my least favorite quest in Westfall. Not that, I actually like the like what you're doing physically, like the act. You're feeding homeless, which is awesome, but it's just such a tedious quest because you can throw food down and people that are like 5 steps away won't bother walking to it, which is really stupid. So the best thing to do is come here to the entrance, where they're all waiting and protesting. Not really protesting, but they're being barred from entering for some reason, and you feed them all here because they're all gathered up around here. I think these guys will eat as well. I'm not sure, though. Let's see. Will they eat? Yep, they will. They will leave their minecarts and eat. There you go. So then you've got this group right here. They're all kind of gathered. So yeah, come to the gate. Don't go around the back and try to, like, feed one at a time. It will suck. It will take forever. So just come here and feed them here, and that's the best way to do it. And then there's more over here. There's like 3 right here. So we'll feed them. And then we'll go over and feed the last, like, 2 over here, I think. Maybe. Are there people over here? Are there not people over here? I thought there were. Maybe I have to go the other way. But anyways, we'll feed them regardless. But yeah, so, like, add in, like, a Tinker or something like that. I think that would be really cool. What do you guys think? You think a Tinker class would be awesome? Or is it just me? Am I the only one? I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a lot of people out there that would agree with me on this one. So I'm going to hold you to that. Let me know what you guys think. Are there more people over here? No. Yes, there are. These people will eat. So there's another gate you can come to and feed people. Or wait a minute. No, they're not. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I went through the entrance of the same gate. I am so dumb. I think that icon above their head means that they've already been fed. Here we go. Here's some people. Jeez. So if you drop it kind of in the middle, there's a good chance that both of them will come. Yep, they did. Good. A lot of times, if you're not close enough, they won't bother. They'll just keep sleeping or just sit there. Just sit there and be hungry. Maybe that's why you're hungry, because you're too lazy to go get a job. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, let's go in. Turn all these quests in. We got tons to turn in. And then I believe we're going to venture down south, where we will continue the story. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. You can also subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter at TheKephas to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, this is Kephas, until next time.